Okay. So this list of postulates, you will have to be able to kind of recognize which ones they're using, and we'll look at some examples of that. So I know you can read these, but these are paired together because they are like converses of each other. So the first one is the 2-point postulate. So, and it says through any 2 points there exists exactly one line. All right, and so that's a picture of that. So it's when they say 2 points, they're talking about the 2 points, and then they're talking about the line. And so for this one, it's the converse of that, and it says a line contains at least 2 points. So they just flip it around, and that's called the line point postulate. All right, so the next one is the line intersection postulate. It says 2 lines intersect, then their intersection is exactly 1 point. So there is no converse to that one. All right, but then these next 2 are converses of each other. So there's the 3-point postulate, and it says through any 3 non-collinear points there exists exactly one plane. So that was the definition of a plane when we talked about it in the last chapter. And then they just flip it around for plane point postulate, and it just says a plane contains at least 3 non-collinear points. And then the next one is the plane line postulate, and it says if 2 points lie in a plane, then the line containing them lies in the plane. So I could connect those 2 points, and then that line would also be in the plane. And this one says that plane intersection postulate, if 2 planes intersect, then their intersection is a line. Okay, so we kind of talked about that in the first chapter. When we had 2 planes intersect, it was a line. All right, so flip over. So you're definitely going to want to look at that first page when you're going through your assignment. So you have to be able to kind of recognize which one of those postulates they're illustrating by this picture. So it says state the postulate illustrated by the diagram. So it's showing that if you have 2 lines crossing, then it shows this point here. So which one of those postulates would that be? Line intersection postulate, which 2 lines intersect at a point. And you can abbreviate these because I did. So I just said line intersection postulate. Flip. Okay, good. And then B, it says if this happens, then this is true. So which one of those is that illustrating? Yeah. So if 2 planes intersect, their intersection is this line. So that's the plane intersection postulate, or PIP. Okay? Alright. So it's on this next part. I think that people kind of struggle with it. It says use the diagram to write examples for the plane point postulate and the plane line postulate. All right, so the plane point postulate says, I'm going to write out the words and then I'll kind of show you what you're going to have to do with it. So it says a plane contains at least 3 non-collinear points. So you have to take this kind of general statement and you have to make it specific to this example that they've given you. So instead of saying a plane, you would name that plane. So like you could either pick plane P or plane Q. It doesn't matter. So let's say plane P. So where it says a plane, you're going to say plane P. Contains at least 3 non-collinear points. And so you're going to have to name 3 non-collinear points. So you would say contains, 3 non-collinear points in plane P. Can you tell from that picture? A, B, and C. So instead of leaving it general, you have to name 3 specific non-collinear points. So that is write an example that fits that picture. Okay? And so then for the plane line postulate, it says that if 2 points, if 2 points lie in a plane, then the line containing them lies in the plane. Alright, so instead of saying if 2 points, pick 2 points that lie in the plane that you could draw a line through. From that picture, do you see 2 points that have a line through it? A and B. Alright, so instead of saying in general, you could say points A and B lie in plane P. Alright, so what line is contained A and B? N. Okay, so then you would say, so line N lies in plane P. Okay. So again, the general language was if 2 points lie in a plane. So we picked 2 specific points from that picture instead of just saying if 2 points lie in the plane. And then we picked the line that they lie in, so we said, okay, so line N also lies in that plane. Okay, so you have to do that on the assignment. They'll give you a picture. You have to take the general statement, and you have to make it specific for that picture. All right. So this says, using the diagram in example 2, which postulate allows you to say that the intersection of plane P and plane Q is a line? So what was the name of the postulate that says 2 planes intersect in a line? Plane intersection postulate? Okay. That's all you have to say there. On this next part, it says, use diagram in example 2 to write an example of the postulate. All right, so it has to be specific for that picture. So the 2-point postulate, in general terms, says through any 2 points, there exists exactly 1 line. So instead of saying through any 2 points, you have to find 2 specific points in that picture, which would be what? We have kind of already did that. What 2 points in that picture have a line going through them? A and B. Okay. So a line contains at least 2 points. Or no, it's 2-point postulate. Through any 2 points, there exists exactly 1 line. So you could say through points A and B, there exists line N. All right, so you guys try that on B. So line point postulate. So the general term says, so it should be the converse of this one that we just did. It says a line contains at least 2 points. That's the general one. You have to make it specific to that picture. But it's the converse of this one that we just did. So if you flip this statement around, you should have what you need. Alright. So instead of saying a line, which line did you use? Line in. Okay, so you would say line in contains what? Points A and B. Good. So you don't have to make it too complicated. And just make the wording make sense. So instead of saying a line contains at least 2 points, we said line in contains points A and B. So it's the same thing, just specific. All right, for C it says line intersection postulate. And so that's that two lines intersect, then their intersection is exactly 1 point. So looking at that picture, do you have two lines that intersect? Yeah, which two? M and N. All right, so you could just say line M and N intersect. And where do they intersect at? What point?
Point A.
Good, intersect at point A. Okay, does that kind of make sense? What you have to do there? All right. We're about done. So 2 more things. Okay, sketch a diagram showing line TB intersecting segment PQ at point W so that TW and WV are congruent. Okay, that's a lot. So first let's just start. If I draw a line TB, you want it to intersect segment PQ at point W, and that W needs to be what if I want those two segments to be equal? In the middle, the midpoint? All right, so point W has to be right here in the middle because it says it wants TW to be congruent to WB, so I need to mark them there. And then my segment PQ, you can have it go straight through or however you want it to go through. It just needs to go through W, and then you put a P here and a Q at the other end. Okay. Questions on that? Okay. So when you have a big statement like that, just kind of start and break it down. All right, on this last one, it says, which of the following statements cannot be assumed from the diagram? All right, so if it's not marked, you can't assume it. So let's look at the first one. Points A, B, and F are collinear. Are A, B, and F collinear? Are they in the same line? Yes. All right, so that one we can, so remember we're looking for ones that are not true. Okay, so that one's true. Let's look at this next one. E, B, and D are collinear. Is that true? Is there a line drawn through them? No. If there's not a line drawn through them, we can't just assume based on the picture. Okay, so that one, we can't assume that those are collinear. All right, so let's look at the next one. Line AB is perpendicular to plane S. Is that true? It's marked as perpendicular here, isn't it? All right, so that's true. Let's look at the next one. Line CD is perpendicular to plane T. Is that true, or can I assume that? No, because it's not marked over there. And then let's look at this last one. It says line AF, which is right here, intersects line BC, which is here at point B. Okay, is that true? Yeah, it looks to be true, right? They intersect at point B. Okay, so those two that I circled are the only two that we can't assume to be true, based on that picture anyway. All right, I have marked out, let's see. So I had marked that you omit 10 and 12.
Mark out 8 to 12, you say.
Right.
Or,
Let me see
4
what
through
8 is.
22. Tell me mark out.
So 4 through 22, you don't do 24 or 26. Alright, so I think I have the two sketches marked out, so 10 and 12. So instead of 8, you can do 8. Don't do 10 or 12.
Take that one.
What?